Hey family, Kee Kee Soto here, Urban Girl Gardening, and what you are looking at is supposed to be a pepper bed. But where the hell are the peppers? One thing for sure, we know where the amaranth is. All this amaranth is volunteer. This amaranth made its way over here by the good old friendly wind. So hang out with me while we clean up this pepper bed. I love amaranth, so I'm going to save as much as I can and add it to these two planters and maybe a few pots. We shall see. But I damn sure cannot grow it all, and it damn sure cannot grow all in this bed. Time to get to work. So some of you guys may recall my amaranth harvest from last season. I have never eaten the leaves of the amaranth, although you can. Some people call it callaloo, but I harvested the grain. So if you're interested in seeing that harvest, then I will link that harvest in the description box. So these planters previously held radishes, and some of you may also recall about a month ago, we transplanted some of these radishes into a garden bed as well. We wanted to thin them out and see if the radishes would grow. But all the sporadic weather changes, the hot, the cold, the hot, the cold, the hot again, the cool again, the radishes were like, no, we can't take this. And they bolted. So I never even got my radishes, and I never got to see if the transplant would actually work. They did root because they bolted as well, but we never got to see if we could grow the radishes from transplant, so that stinks. But you know how I am, out with the old and with the new. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to transplant as much of this amaranth as possible. I plan on eating a lot of the amaranth leaves this summer. Amaranth is one of those greens that, you know, if you don't want it to go to seed, if you don't want it to go to grain, you can surely eat those leaves as much as you want. They love the heat. It's nice to have an option for more greens and leafy veggies in the summertime when it's hard to grow lettuce, and the brassicas are like they've had it. You know, the collard greens are getting eaten up, and this is a great option right up there with like Egyptian spinach and Malabar spinach and Swiss chard, which loves the heat and the cold. You still have options when it comes to having your leafy greens in the summertime. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to this. And so amaranth is one of those veggies that take a long time to get over transplant shock. So these are going to look rough for like at least a good week, maybe even longer, but they will bounce back and they will continue to grow. But if you do transplant some amaranth, if you have some growing wild and you want to bring it into the garden, just remember that it's not dying. Just give it a second to snap back. I'm going to go ahead and plant up this next garden planter full of amaranth. Okay, so these planters are all planted up. This is as much amaranth as I could get into them, and trust me, when you guys see how it grows, it's going to be huge. I'm going to have lots and lots to harvest from, but as you can see, there is still so much there, but I can't keep it all. So I did go ahead and snatch up a few more and go ahead and put them in that cup of water. I am going to plant these in the front porch garden, and you guys remember that's where I harvested most of it from last season. I had it growing on my front porch and it loved it there. So I'm going to go ahead and put some more in some pots and plant them up there again. So now it's time for the big cleanup. And as you can see, I got my Lowe's 5-gallon bucket there because although I cannot grow these grains, I daggone sure cannot grow these weeds. Some of the spinach and other veggies I have growing in there are bolting. What I am going to do is make some fertilizer. I'll be making some weed tea. I'm going to be making these intrusive weeds, these volunteer plants, these bolting veggies. I'm going to make them all work for me. Because see, right now, they're crowding up this bed. They're choking the life out of my peppers. My peppers have been in this bed for a long time. They should have been a lot bigger than this. And the weeds and everything are just out of control. So I'm going to make all that nutrients that these veggies and weeds have been soaking up. I'm going to make them give it right back to me. And we're going to make this fertilizer the same way we did the comfrey. The leaves, everything goes in the bowl, fill it with water, let it ferment, and then we go ahead and use the liquid to fertilize. But you don't have to wait a few weeks. I usually only wait maybe up to a week, maybe. Weeds are really, really, really potent. I mean, think about it. They grow anywhere and everywhere. They don't have to be fertilized. They don't even need rainwater half the time. So I'm just continuing to pull out sunflowers and tomato plants and just really get rid of all of this. Guys, don't ask me to give those tomato plants away. I've done that. I have planted as many as I can. I just have nothing left in my system for more tomato plants. And once you guys see the garden tour, you're going to be like, wow, you really do have a lot of volunteers. Like, it's out of control. So everything in here is just getting pulled up and it's going in the bucket for the weed tea fertilizer. Now, one thing I would like to share with you guys, if you are making weed tea fertilizer, do not, I repeat, do not use any weeds that have already gone to seed. All you will be doing is watering your garden with more weeds. Okay? All right. So now I can breathe a little sigh of relief because now I can actually see my pepper plants again. There's still some weeds, but they're not being choked out. Those greens there, those are actually purple top turnips. And we actually harvested those. If you have me on Instagram or TikTok, then you guys have seen that reel. We had a beautiful harvest of turnip greens, and we had these greens for Sunday dinner along with some dino kale and some collards and some broccoli and cauliflower leaves and some kale, other varieties of kale, and it was just absolutely delicious. I actually cannot wait for these turnip greens to come back because they were just so good. So that really freed up a lot more room for those pepper plants that were around them. And now here it is. This is a more updated photo. As you can see, the amaranth is still in recovery, but they ain't dead, y'all. And I have put stakes up next to the pepper plants because peppers like some support. They grow better when they know they got something to lean on. But don't we all? Don't we all just need something to lean on? So real quick, I will show you guys what else is planted in with this pepper bed. I have some beans, of course, and then I have a row of peppers. Then I have some parsnips growing in between right there. And then I have another row of peppers. And then in between that row of peppers, you'll see I have some white Vidalia, Spanish onions. I grew those from seed. I'm very excited about those. And then I have another row of peppers. And in between that row, I have some Parisian carrots. Y'all, I found a pack of carrot seeds that had like 12 in them and I planted all 12. This, as you can see, those turnip greens are already growing back. I can't wait for the next harvest. And then there's more onions. And then that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. I love sharing my garden with you guys. Follow me on other social media if you can. Learn with me, grow with me. I love y'all for real. Bye.